And go. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Heath Pierce. I'm the director of the Applied Exercise Science program. I'd like to welcome all of the Nor'easters. Today, I'm going to be going over blood pressure assessment. We're going to be using the obliteration of pulse as the standard. The first thing, our subject here has been sitting for a 5-minute period of time, relaxed with her feet firmly on the floor. Her left arm has been on the table, avoiding isometric contraction. The first thing we need to do is to make sure that we have the correct cuff. So with this cuff, I'm going to place the arterial line directly over the brachial artery. At this point in time, I'm wrapping the cuff around the upper arm, and if you can see here, she's within the index lines, which means we're using the appropriate cuff. I want to make sure that I'm not putting this on too tightly, but it wants to be firm in place. Make sure the Velcro is engaged, and you can take the extra material and fold it underneath and make sure that it's tucked appropriately. Arterial line is still falling over the brachial artery. At this point in time, we want to make sure that the valve for the ball is going to be in a locked position, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. My stethoscope is firmly in the ears. I want to make sure that I have the opportunity to hold between the diaphragm and bell of the stethoscope and have my index finger and middle finger extended. At this point in time, with permission, I can palpate the radial pulse. I can feel the pulse. I'm going to pump up the blood pressure cuff until I can no longer feel the pulse. That's the pulse obliteration. And at that point in time, I'm going to go 20 to 30 millimeters of mercury above that point. I can now take the diaphragm of the stethoscope, put it directly over the brachial artery, again above the intercubical space but below the cuff. I'm going to retract back. I'm looking for 2 to 3 milliliters of mercury per second. I'm hearing for the first of 2 consecutive sounds. That's going to give me the first Kratikov sound. Continuing to lower pressure until I have the disappearance of sound for the 5th Kratikov sound. Once I lose that sound, I'm going to keep deflating at a nice steady rate. Make sure that I open the valve altogether and press all of the air out of the cuff. At this point in time, her blood pressure is at 116/68. We can never take an odd reading. We're going to rest 1 minute here. With her permission, we're going to take it for a second time. Now I'll have the ability to average the 2. When we average the 2, there is a potential that her systolic blood pressure could be at an odd number, but we never read an odd number. If we quickly take a look here, we only have delineations or gradations at even numbers. So if you were to say 115, you're reading between the lines, there's not an indication of what that 15 would be. So we're reading in even numbers. Thank you and have a good day.